And that's what this comes down to, is personal responsibility. The personal responsibility to defend yourself, your family, your neighbors, and most of all, your Constitution. The founders had enough foresight to give us the legal document known as the Declaration of Independence and place in their rights that are our rights and our duties. And until we understand this and adopt the mindset, Constitution first, live the lifestyle of the Constitution, then things will change. But now they don't care. Like we mentioned, the Tea Party candidates who got up there. Go ahead.
But we have to make a complete 180 and get back to it.
See, kudos to you for mentioning something. I hear, for everything the Constitution is and the Bill of Rights are, I think that we place much too much emphasis on that. And you mentioned that just now, and kudos for that. I place 10,000 times more importance on the Declaration of Independence, because that Declaration of Independence is the philosophical outline for any governmental system that we set up in the future. It put down what a tyrant is and what the tyrant's actions are and what we demand and what we demanded our freedoms to be. The respect that we demanded. The Constitution is just the most current embodiment of that philosophy in the Declaration of Independence. Before that, it was the Articles of Confederation. In the future, it could be something different because, as the Declaration said, we can dissolve government and implement new government that will better suit our needs. So who knows? Maybe one day the Constitution has gotten into something different. I don't know. I do know that everything stems from that Declaration of Independence, though.
The sad part is
we have the power to defend ourselves from our own government. It says it is our right, it is our duty.
And that's the part that a lot of people miss is our duty. We are obligated to do this. We are obligated to fight tyranny. This is not something we have the option of doing. It's something that we absolutely, as Americans, have the obligation and the duty to do. We have the obligation and the duty to fight our government when it becomes tyrannical.
Tyranny is bad enough. Tyranny unopposed is deadly. And let's look at that tyranny.
I mean, think about this. We look down upon people that tie you up and will put electric prods on you, right? We call that torture. Well, the RCMP, I'm reading the newspaper, the RCMP recently, now they're under investigation because several RCMP responded to a call at a school. They ended up tasering an 11-year-old kid. How much fear can an 11-year-old kid cause to a Mountie, a fully armed, vest-wearing Mountie? The Mounties here are like the feds. They are the FBI. So basically, the equivalent would be an FBI feeling fear over an 11-year-old and feeling that I must taser them now because they unarmed 11-year-old, I might add. This is tyranny. They are cattle prodding us now. They are putting those electrodes on us now, and they are shocking us now. We are cattle. That's how they're treating us now. That is tyranny. We look at the Egyptians when they do it to the prisoners as torture. But when our cops do it to us, that's called compliance.
Right. If you look, the news makes me sick with all of the accounts of police brutality and things like that. And it's just, you hear it and you don't even get shocked anymore because it's such a common thing. And it's not even, I remember being little and hearing that a police officer did something that hurt somebody and being outraged. And now it's like, another cop shot somebody, or, another cop, did whatever. And it's like we've gotten so used to it that it's become normal. And that is terrifying and enraging and disgusting. The fact that it's become normal for the people who we are told told are here to protect us and serve us are brutalizing us on a regular basis. And that's, that's one of the many things that we tolerate on a daily basis that is why we have all of the problems we have, because we tolerate this. People talk about it, people talk about how it's wrong, but it still happens, and we still let it happen every day.
Play the scenario out in your head for a second, if you will, okay? We just talked about the scenario where that black kid was face down on the ground, handcuffed, hand behind his back, handcuffed. 3 cops surrounding him, and he's shot twice, once in the back of the head and once in his back, and killed. Nothing happened to them. The people that stood around did nothing. A murder had just happened in front of their very eyes, and they did nothing. Now, let's play out that scenario again, okay? Let's play it out now with Americans as we should be, well-armed and in control of our government. And those cops had that kid down, and that one cop pumps two into him. And next thing you know, that cop is facing 100 armed citizens with their guns drawn on him saying, "You have committed murder. You get down on your knees right now."
Absolutely.
And if that cop didn't obey, and he even flinched wrong, he even went to raise his weapon, well, according to all laws then, he is engaging in the very act which gives him the right to use deadly force. So we the people who delegate our authority to them, we also have that right as well. We spoke about that the other day on the Our Cops Constitutional show that Gary was on, and when we were talking about John Baddow. John Baddow killed a cop. And the Supreme Court said it was his right, because the cop was violating his freedom, was violating his constitutional freedoms, his God-given freedoms, his creator-given freedoms, whatever you want to call it. Imagine a society like that now, where that cop would never consider doing that because he knew at least 25% of those people would draw down on him after he just openly committed murder in front of them.
That's the kind of society we used to have, and that we need to have again if there is any prayer for us at all.
This is an example I use quite frequently when I'm talking to people. The Ohio Valley Freedom Fighters had an open carry rally, I believe, on April 19th in Kentucky in front of the state capitol. Now, the Commonwealth of Kentucky is open carry.
Okay.
Bravo. Now, they were a constitutional militia group, and they showed up in front of the state capitol in full battle rattle. Main battle rifle, sidearm, everything, along with a lot of t-shirt, jeans, pistol on the belt people. Police were dispatched to that protest to make sure that nobody's rights were infringed upon. Now, on the flip side, look at what happened in the G20 in Pittsburgh. Microwave cannons, LRED sound wave cannons, tear gas, pepper spray, batons. State police showing up in their armored personnel carriers that are more armored than vehicles that the military uses in some cases. Do you think that anybody in the police department, state, county, local, would ever even think for a second about dispatching that kind of presence to the Ohio Valley Freedom Fighter rally? I seriously doubt that.
My question is, why do we allow it? Why did we allow our police to become militarized? Why did we even allow police to begin with? We used to have peace officers, and before that, we had peace officers, and our justice system was much different then. We didn't have cops that went out and arrested people. You had to present your case. You had to present your case to a judge, or to the committees of safety, and they would convene a grand jury. But who the hell are these people to think that they can actually militarize themselves against us and tell us that we can't go rally, that we can't carry our weapons, and that we cannot go and speak to our elected representatives, those people that we entrusted to obey the law?
That's exactly what it was.
Up there and arresting,
trusting somebody else to do the job that it is our duty not even a job, entrusting them to do our duty. That's where it started. When these politicians started pandering and saying, well, I will take care of the problem on Capitol Hill for you.
Protected from ourselves is why we've allowed the police to take on the role that they've taken. You know, the police state that we have is because we've convinced most of our society that we need to be protected from ourselves, that we have so many scary criminals that we are not able to defend ourselves and our homes, that we need these armed thugs that the government pays, that our tax dollars pay, to go out there and have free reign on everything. And it's because we're scared. We think we can't take care of ourselves. You know, and that's why we have police. That's why we let the police get away with what they get away with. You know, if you talk to any LEO, they will tell you about what a horrible, dangerous job they have and how they don't get paid enough and they don't get the right amount of respect. And, you know, and for some of them, there are some good guys out there. I know a few of them, and I feel for them. They have a really hard job. But, you know, the majority of them are on a power trip, and they're pissed at people in general. They're pissed at the citizens that they think they're protecting from other citizens and from themselves. You know, it's the mentality of our law enforcement has gotten so bad that they actually have an us versus them mentality. It is them versus everyone in their environment. And that is incredibly dangerous.
They're taught this. They started being taught this in, 67, 69-ish?
Uh-huh.
You know, that we are the enemy. You know, in the SWAT training manuals, they started saying, who are the enemy out there? And it started saying everybody, including their wives and their children, are potential criminals. They're all criminals. They just haven't been caught yet. They're all willing to kill you, and the only ones you can trust are we, your brothers in blue. Or in black now, I'm sorry. They wear black now. There's no more blue anymore. There's black. You can stop them.
There's a standard training manual called the Reed Manual for police officers. And in it, the basics is everyone is guilty. And all you have to do is catch them and put them in a room and convince them there are 2 steps to every interrogation. 1, you convince them that they're trapped and they're at your mercy. And 2, you convince them that if they admit to whatever you're accusing them of, that they get to leave. And that is actually the tactic that the majority of the police force uses for interrogation. And, you know, they're taught that everyone is guilty. And your job is to trap them, scare them, and get them to admit it. You know, if that isn't a Nazi Gestapo thing, I don't know what is.
Well, we do have to get going, so I'm going to wind us down here. April 19th, we have a very special show coming on for everybody at about 8 o'clock. We're going to be going for a few hours. We have Gary Hunt coming on and a few other people. So definitely tune in for that on April 19th. Randy, what shows you got coming up this weekend?
This Sunday, what do I have? We got the Committee of Safety Common Law Court coming up tomorrow. We are talking about the new Committee of Safety Common Law Court that is open, and we're going to be discussing what it is, how it's going to work, how it's going to help us, and what we can use it for. Huge benefit there if used properly. And Monday, I have a militia medic with a Silent Sons of Washington member. One of their medics is coming on. He's this guy has lots of skills. Commo in the military. He's a paramedic now. We're going to do a double show that we're going to talk about dying with the belly full of Mountain House foods and a lot of other stuff, even including how he survived, or a recent attempted infiltration that went on up there.
Okay.
And that'll be Monday.
Hold of you at Randy Mack at youhavetoldme.com if they need Committee of Safety handouts, because those are ready now, right?
Yeah, I've got the files for the CD ready now. It's like I said, they're laid out in a logical fashion that will take you from beginner to advanced student on committees of safety in a logical order.